Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be another bicycle modification video to the bicycle you can see in the background there, which is my Enduro bike named Dangerous Brian. So today we're going to be fitting a cable dropper post. Normally a fairly basic and simple job. Unfortunately not on this bicycle, no surprise there. Due to certain circumstances it's going to be a bit more difficult to fit it to this bicycle than the standard fitment, so should make this video, something worth watching and a bit, different to the norm you normally see on YouTube. Okay, so let's quickly run over the problems we have. So normally you probably have, your lever up here on there, your cable running down, and it'd come through somewhere here. It'd go down the tube, up here, and up your seat post, ideally. And under normal circumstances, I could probably do that, but unfortunately we can't on this bike. There are several problems for this. Whilst there is actually a hole in here into the seat tube, we've actually got a bar foam motor going through there, and that completely fills the whole pedal shaft tube all the way through right to the edges. So there's no room, whereas it had been standard we would have been able to, but now there's no room for us to actually put a cable, despite there actually being a little hole between this tube and the seat tube to bring it up here. So the other option would be sort of, take the cables in here as usual, run it down this tube, probably take it out here, put it in here, and then run it up to seat post. Or if the motor wasn't on, you could have taken it out here, sort of run it underneath and bring it up through here, but then you've still got a sort of a problem in here as well, so that's not really an option. So yeah, the option we're basically stuck with if we use this tube is in here, out here, in here to the dropper. It's a lot of holes to drill in the bike and a lot of adapters to say this hasn't got them as standard. And another problem I've got, if I take you around this side, is because I wanted all the cables hidden, these are the e-bike cables inside the tube, this tube here is absolutely packed with cable. Now I was in two minds about that. I regret in some ways that I didn't actually shorten the cable, either see if I could get a shorter cable or cut the cable down and resolder all the wires to make it shorter in here, because I ended up cramming it all down and packing it into this. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking if it had been shorter and loose in there, there's a good chance I might have had it rattling around inside there as I'm riding along, and it would have drove me crazy. So I think I'm quite happy to have it all packed in there, but it does also mean then that there's no room for me to actually run a cable down there, or it would have been really difficult to run a cable down here and through. So that's really that option out of the way. So this is the option I've come up with. Obviously I'm going to put the lever up here on the handlebars, and I'm going to bring it, probably sort of follow it around here. And what I'm going to do is change this one out for a double cable boss or double cable grommet. Take it through here, I suspect probably diagonally across this tube here. Change it. This one's already been changed out for a double. I've already done that. I'll go into that in a minute. Take it out there and then run the cable sort of loosely on the outside down through here, and then just drill a hole and put another sort of grommet in there to take it in, and then I can connect it to the bottom of the seat post. Now I spent a lot of time on the internet searching for an actual seat post that's going to be compatible, the best one to actually do the job. Most of them you'll find that the actual cable comes straight out the bottom of them and then goes through, frame for the frame like we said. But I did actually find one when pictured looked like it came out the side, and I thought that might be a lot better, because if it comes out the side there, I could take it straight out here, with a round grommet with a hole in it, and and I won't have that problem. But when it actually arrived, it doesn't look like it's actually made to do as pictured. And I can show you, I have managed to get it to do it, but it wasn't easy. You can see like the cable comes right out the end of the seat post there. But that's how it's pictured. But in order to do that, you have to sort of thread the inner cable through. There's like this round, I hope you're going to pick it up on here, this sort of round cylinder here with a slot in it, and you have to sort of pull the cable through, round, up into here, up through into here, and then drop the solder of it back into there and pull it tight. And then it will come back through here. Also, the end of this cable here, this ferrule, doesn't slot into that either. I had to sand that down to get that to fit into there, and it does work. You can see actually I've got it set up to cable. You can see if you look closely, it is pulling it, he says, and it does work. My concern is it's putting that cable at a really tight 90-degree turn. It's inside there, it's cable rubbing against metal. I don't know what the metal's like, whether it's been properly filed off and shaped, or whether it's smooth, or whether it's actually sharp and it's going to rub the cable and it's going to sap. I have concerns it's not going to last too long. So but anyway, that is the one option. We can do that and it does work and it is okay, but I'm thinking how long, you know, it's not going to last long. The other option is to do it standard, and that involves just basically putting the cable through here, run it up through here, and then the outer cable goes in for the end, more or less like a standard one. I've got to say, neither option looks like they were made to be that way. This sort of down here looks like it should have sort of almost like a cable brake, a V-brake cable sort of fitment in there to go through would be better. Yeah, the whole thing's a bit shoddy. But so I think what I'm going to do, the first thing to do is we've got the one option there, is I'm going to set the cable up going through the top. And set up sort of a bit of an experiment to see whether, with it having a tight bend in the cable, whether it's still going to be a smooth, you know, action on the cable. So I'll quickly set up that experiment. We'll have a look at that and see where we're at. Okay, so we're all set up here. So obviously, if that cable's going to be like that, this has got to more or less go double into there. So I'm going to sort of try and scrunch it together, push it down double into this tube. Like that, which is how it's going to have to be, at least at the bottom, and then push a lever and see if this is still going to work, which it does. Okay, well, that's works quite well. That's quite tight to get in there, and it's quite a tight bend, but that is still very, very smooth. So it looks like we're going to go with this way, purely because there's less chance of damage to the cable. I can always do an upgrade at a later date and also put a more suitable soldered end in there, and even make a little boss for that to go in to stop that from flopping around. But I think for now we'll get that on and see how it goes. Okay, so we've got the bike back in the air again. I've already tried this all the way down, and it will go all the way down the tube there, which it really needs to do to be the right height for me when I'm on the bike. And I'm also sort of offering it up here, seeing more or less where sort of there is where the bottom of it's going to come to. So really we want the outlet sort of as close down to the bottom here as we can. And just look there. Yeah. There's sort of a bend here, you probably can't pick it up on camera, and I think we just want it probably on that would be the best way to put it. Now, obviously we've got a problem, we've got the shock absorber in the way, we're going to have to get that out of the way. It's not much room in here, but I have got a sort of a special headed screw, a special headed drill, which I used in sort of these all on the side here, in difficult to reach places before when I did the e-bike conversion. So I think we're going to get our holes in there ready for our new grommets. Now, first, before we do that, I'll show you the new grommets we've got to get in there, because they took some, you know, finding and they weren't easy to source. So I'll show you those quickly so you can see what they are, and then we'll get on with that. So these are the standard cable adapters. These are plastic, they go through the frame. These keep clipping out with the cables pushing, especially at the back here with the shock absorber going up and down. These keep coming out anyway, so they're not that great. They measure about 20 by 8 along there. We're replacing them with these ones here. Now these apparently are meant to fit a Cannondale XT or something. They're a superior rubber, they're actually rubber, so they jam in there. And these are actually 8 by 25, but if you carefully trim this edge off a couple of millimetres here and a couple of millimetres there, they fit pretty well. And I've already fitted them here because I had to replace the inner cable of my derailleur. So yeah, I've already fitted them and they work quite well, and they seal. And as you can see, they've got 2 holes in them. So hopefully, you know, we're gonna, like here, we've got 2 holes in here now, we'll be able to take the cable out of there. So it looks like we're looking to put probably an 8mm by 25 or an 8mm by 20, cut this down into here, down here. Okay, so that's the shock absorber off. There's another video actually on this shock absorber if you're interested. I actually fitted a longer shock absorber to give me more ground clearance and actually more travel. Turns out a huge taboo in the cycling world, so yeah, it might be a video worth watching as well. Anyway, I've got that off. I've put a Velcro strap on here to stop the whole end of the back bike going falling down. I'll put a bit of tape on here to mark. This red mark here is where the actual dropper post finishes, and I'm thinking we're going to put the first hole in here. Now I've had a bit of a change of plan. I was going to come up the centre and in the other side here, but I'm thinking now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it slightly off to one side. It's going to make it easier to drill. It can come sort of up the corner of here, and I'm going to take it through this one with the actual brake line. And the reason for that is I've got a spare piece of brake line, and I've got those sort of screw connectors you can screw in each end, so that when I pull this one out to put the new grommet over it, I could draw another piece through, put the grommet on, put the grommet, then pull it back through the other way, and then put the grommet on this end. It basically means because I haven't got a draw line or anything to pull it through, so hopefully I can pull it all through at once. So that's going to help us, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. So that's the reason behind that. And yeah, I'm not too bothered about having that dead centre. I think slightly off here is going to be fine, because it's running up here and then coming in at this end. You know, as opposed to coming in centre, where it would have been better if it was centre. Okay, so now we're getting to sort of the arse clenching moment here, where we start drilling holes in our bike. So I'm going to have a look, check and double check all my measurements and everything. I'm going to do a very fine pilot hole first to see how I go through, you know, or 2 pilot holes to get them the right distance apart, and then take it from there. Okay, so we've done 3 tiny pilot holes. Now I've worked out 16mm apart, which hopefully by the time we've put an 8mm drill bit through these final top holes, should give us a hole 24mm long. And the grommet that goes in is 25. So that should work it just right, but we'd be careful as we gradually increase the sizes of the drill bits. Obviously, I'll put the extra one in the middle there, because hopefully by the time I've drilled them all through, they're all going to join up, and there's going to be minimal meat to sort of take out on the edges where the holes are sort of, you know, triangly there, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so hopefully I'll have minimum amount of meat to sort of try and file out there, so we can get that grommet in afterwards. So that's it, hole done and grommet in. I think this grommet probably wants trimming a little bit how I did on the other ones, just the rubber on the reverse side. You see these holes are sort of a bit squashed up and that, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Looks like it probably is always there. Okay then, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a hoover on here down this tube, hoover out any aluminium filings that may have dropped down into the bottom here, get them out of the way, and then we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, so that's that hoovered out. Let's see if we can feed this cable through and grab it. There it is there. There we go, not too bad. So we've got a cable in, left a bit hanging out the top there, brought it, fed it through up there where it's going to go there, and the next stage is going to be getting it through here. I've trimmed my grommet down, I've got that on ready as well, so we don't forget that. Now, I'm reluctant to put the seat post on straight away because of the connection so sort of loose and floppy inside it. I'm too worried that when I push it down, it's going to snap out and pull out, and then I'm going to pull it back out again. So I think I'm going to leave that to the last minute and see if I can get these threaded through here. These 2 new grommets, one there, and of course I'm going to have to disconnect the brake pipe as well, drag that through so I could drag it back through the other way, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think we'll get on with that, and then we'll leave the final connections until the end. Okay, so my brake pipe's a bit too fat for my thingamajig gear. That's only really for derailleur cables and things like that, so I've had to improvise something up for a bit of wire. Hopefully that'll work. So I'm going to drag that back through there and through there so I can get the grommet on, and then hopefully drag that back along with our new cable back through the other way. Okay, so we've got our new grommet thing on, the old grommet off, so they're in there ready to go through, and we reconnected. This is working again for some reason. I think this must be a slightly thinner ball pipe than the other one I was trying to drag it through with originally. But anyway, let's feed it back through. This is taped onto here as well. Let's see if we can both drag them in carefully through together. Okay, so I think we've got everything in place. We've got the cables going through, made a point of remembering to get these grommets on. We've got them on at the top here. So I think now at this point what we're going to do is going to attach the dropper post there properly. And then I think I'm going to temporarily just put the lever on here to keep the tension on it so it doesn't pop out of place whilst I'm shuffling it around. Okay, so today we're going to have to admit defeat. I've just spent a good hour off camera trying to get this to work and fit any way it possibly can. But at the end of the day, the problem is this. Whereas normally you might have a cable action component, you know, relies on the inner cable being pulled through the outer cable, you know, the inner cable pulling on the release or whatever. This relies on the actual outer casing pushing in on this component here. So obviously, in order for the outer casing of the cable to push down on that, it needs to be moving freely. It isn't a case of having the outer cable fixed and the sort of inner cable moving freely within it. It's a case of having the inner cable fixed and the outer cable sort of moving freely on the outside of the cable. The Ministry of Crap Design worked overtime on this component. This is made by Walgun. I can't remember the exact model number. I shall put it in the subtitles. Don't buy it. I don't know how well it'll work. We'll never get to find out, but the design of it is very, very poor, and it looks like it's a mismatch of components, you know, fitting together. So unfortunately, that was a waste of money. I'm going to have to go and buy another new one, which has actually got, instead of this pushing here, the outer cable being fixed on the outside and then pulling on a little component inside here, if that makes any sense, which I think is what most of them are anyway. Okay then, so I'm going to have to leave that there for today and I'll bring you back in. Good morning and welcome back. It's been about 3 weeks since we last worked on this project here, fitting this dropper post. We had about a week waiting for the new part to come and then 2 weeks of storms, actually 2 storms colliding, so we pretty much hunkered down inside and didn't do any work outside. But hey, we've got a few hours sunny weather this morning, so we're going to try and finish this bit of a job and get it done. So if you recall, the old seat post failed, which I bought because it relied on sort of the outer cable, weird system, actually pushing on this piece here to activate the seat post. This has now been swapped out. I've got one from Zoom, and this one's different because quite a bit lighter as well. And the outer cable is actually fixed in here how it traditionally would be, and then it pulls on this sort of inner bit here, the inner cable as you pull the lever. So this should work a lot better. The other one would have been fine, but it's dependent on there being a little bit of play in the outer cable to move. And if we've got it sort of looped down the inside of the seat post, there's no movement whatsoever. So that's why that basically didn't work. So hopefully we'll have more success with this. So I'm going to get this on, get the cable routed in, and take it from there. Good morning and welcome back again. God, that wind and that rain came from nowhere. We had to quickly grab everything up and dash inside, and I ended up having to complete the actual job inside, unfortunately off camera. But you've got the general gist of it, and you know, you saw from the previous footage really what I was getting up to. So here's the final product. I'm pretty happy with how it's come out. It looks like, you know, it's the sort of thing that was fitted at the point of manufacture rather than something that's been added later, you know, and stuck on with cable ties. Quite happy with how these rubbers came out. Comes up through here. Through here, the rubbers look tidy. They should never shift out of there because I had a hell of a job getting those rubbers to stick in there, but now they're in there, I don't think they're going anywhere. And out through here and up to the lever up there. Okay, so we're right up to the lever here. It's very smooth, the operation, despite actually being, you know, bent the cable in the bottom of the seat stem tube at 180 degrees, you know, it's still very smooth. I had originally intended to fit this one in keeping with the rest of the bike. Let's see if I can get it straight there. Yeah, made by Moosey or something like that. It appears a lot, it's a lot smaller than it appeared in the actual photos in the picture there, and it does feel sort of very flimsy. The one from Zoom fits really nicely, and you could adjust it. There's a couple of holes here, so you could move it further this way if you wanted, but I was worried that when I'm gripping onto the handlebars, I'll be activating it. So I've moved it away a bit, and that fits just nicely in there. So I'm pretty smooth with the action. It seems to be a lot easier to push down than the last one or the manual one that I had on before. And the operation coming up is very smooth, very light on the lever here, so obviously that cable isn't dragging. So I'm particularly impressed with the actual Zoom stem we got there in the end. Third time we got it right. It's significantly lighter than the other stem, I noticed straight away as soon as I picked it up. And also the amount of this actual hydraulic bit that goes down into the tube is considerably shorter, which probably aided quite a bit how much I could sort of curl the cable around up here. So that was a success. Now I suppose only the test of time will tell if it's actually any good when I've used it after a few months, whether it's still working fine. But as it stands now, this is a pretty good deal. The seat stem's good. It's got the same as the other one, 150 millimeters of travel. The cable was a lot more flexible than the other, and despite being flexible, it didn't bind the cable or kink, so that was good. And the inner cable runs a lot smoother through this cable supplied with it than with the other kit as well. And the little lever here is particularly nice as well. It just fits nicely and feels right in the thumb, and it feels firm and solid. It doesn't feel flimsy in any way, you know, but also light. So yeah, I was particularly impressed with that as well. So overall, you know, a pretty good kit, and I think up until now I'd recommend that to anybody, all barring, you know, standing the test of time. So finally, after all that brings us to the end of the video. Please look out for future videos. I'll be testing this bike on the old disused hunting trails which we've got here. They go right up into the mountains, single trails, really rough, you know, steep ascents and descents, particularly gnarly. They're so sort of out in the middle of nowhere, they're not even mapped. You know, I have to do the actual map routes by using satellite on Google Earth and then transferring it to my GPS. It's the only way I can actually map it, because they're just not shown on any maps, any modern maps. So yeah, look out for them. I refer to them as Widowmaker trails, and not without good reason. So look out for those. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and also with that new hype button, hit that new hype button. That greatly helps the channel. So all that remains is to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.